The Indiana Pacers. I didn't see this coming. I've watched from afar. The only time I ever really watched the Pacers, unless if they were playing the Cavs. I wasn't really watching the Pacers much until recently. And the Indiana Pacers are actually pretty damn good. They've clinched a playoff spot. They are currently ranked fourth in the NBA, fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're 46-31. Their away record is not great, which is why I kind of rank them as the least likely of the big teams to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I like the Bucks better to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't really like their chances. Not without Dame. Right. But I do really appreciate what Giannis does as a player and as just a tough, gritty guy. Maybe the Magic, if things kind of work out. The Magic are a really good defensive team, but offensively, you know, can they score enough points to beat some of these top Eastern teams? The Indiana Pacers are 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. The Indiana Pacers are 8th in three-point percentage since the All-Star break. The Indiana Pacers are 6th in offensive rating since the All-Star break. The Indiana Pacers are 7th ranked in offensive rebounds since the All-Star break. They have good qualities and good numbers since the All-Star break, and it's parlayed into a good record. I think their ceiling, though, is predicated around the fact that they have to beat a couple of really, really good teams in the East. So trying to get past Cleveland and trying to get past Boston and even trying to get past a team like the Pistons, I think it's going to be a tough task. You know, how would the Pacers fare against the Knicks? They might do decent, actually. I actually think they could upset the Knicks, depending on where things shake out with the playoff seeding. But Tyrese Halliburton's really good. You know, Rick Carlisle's got his guys playing really good basketball. They've got a couple nice players. They've had a couple of guys that have been on the roster, you know, seasoned veterans. And, you know, the Pacers play with pace, right? They're like a fast team. They get up and down the floor. That doesn't translate well in the playoffs. That's why I kind of have them as like my least likely to make noise in the playoffs. I actually lean a little bit towards these guys. You know, the Pistons are crazy. The Pistons are so good. The Pistons are so disruptive. The Pistons have gone from worst to like a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. Cade Cunningham, Malik Beasley. These guys are just playing great basketball. The Pistons are really good. Every time they play the Cavs, I'm just like, damn, we got to play these guys. All right, looking at some of the unique qualities or characteristics of the Pistons. Some games, you'll see Tobias Harris play really, really well. Jaden Ivey's a nice player. Ronald Holland, I've seen him have some good games. Jalen Duren, I've seen him have good games. I used to only watch them when they played the Cavs. Now I'm watching them every chance I get. Malik Beasley is having like a really nice year shooting the ball. Cade, the emergence of Cade, he's just been amazing. And shout out to their coach, JD Bickerstaff, who was exiled from Cleveland. That actually worked out for Cleveland, but it also worked out for JD Bickerstaff. Man, the Pistons are building something there, aren't they? So good. And Azar Thompson. Nice player. There's other guys too. I've seen Dennis Schroeder be a nice piece for this team. Guys, the Pistons are a problem. Like, I'm one of the biggest Cavs fans, and I know the Pistons are a problem. I actually want to root for the Pistons. I just can't because of the Cavs. But if my Cavs weren't good and my Cavs weren't in the thick of things for a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals potentially, like, this is my team. I'd be a huge Pistons fan. I can't be a pure Pistons fan being a guy from Cleveland being a Cavs fan. But this is one of the best stories in basketball. And this is one of the better teams in basketball. Team concept. And they're tough. I've seen ejections because these guys don't just bend the knee to other teams. They're not scared of anybody. I like these guys. These are one of my favorite teams to watch. This is one of my favorite teams to root for when they're not playing the Cavs. So I like them better, actually, than I like the Pacers. The record doesn't always tell the story. You know what I mean? So I know the Pacers have a better record than the Pistons, but it doesn't mean anything. All right, next. And I'm not going to talk about the Knicks. I'm just not a believer. Look, I know they're playing decent, and they're trying to survive the times without Jalen Brunson. But without Jalen Brunson, what's the discussion? Who are they going to beat in the playoffs? By the way, he's not back yet. I haven't seen him play in like a month since he injured his ankle against the Lakers. He's been out a while, maybe more than a month. I don't believe in Karl Anthony Towns. I like OG Anunoby. I like Josh Hart. I like some of those guys. Mikal Bridges, they're good players. Karl Anthony Towns is not carrying you through the playoffs. So I'm not even, unless Jalen Brunson is back and healthy, they're not even worth discussing here. Don't be mad.